You teaching or teaching?
I've got
Next one, 4?
I've got a 4:30.
Okay. That's cool.
I'm teaching the kids classes, and then PT session, and then three classes back to back. And even in the classes themselves, I've got like a shoot stuff going on. That's nice.
Oh, there's a shoot. There's a shoot happening.
Yeah, I'm doing a video in the evening.
Oh, nice.
Oh, sorry, we're recording.
Oh, we are.
Did you press record?
I didn't even realize.
We are. That's all good. All right. Just cruising. Next episode. Next season. I'm not gonna say listen, season 2. Shut up. Don't talk to me. It's simple. Season 2, episode 1. Right. So, Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and arrears, all that good stuff. You know by now. Kevlar Kess, Dr. Love. Right. In this era or time of New Year, New You, or New Me, New You, Happy You, Happy Me, I would like to talk about something other than New Me, New You. Let's talk about death, baby.
Yay.
Let's talk about you and me. He's trying to kill himself.
That's so ironic. This guy just drove in front of the car on his bike because we were talking about death.
About death, right. Now, first things first, if you are not comfortable talking about death, turn away. Go somewhere else. This is adult talk. This is big boy conversation. Big boy, big girl conversation. It's not for the kids. Right. Death happens to us all. Whether you like it or not, it's a constant. The constant is as long as you are born, you are going to die. It's part of the process. Everyone who is born is going to die. Accept it today, not tomorrow. Accept it now, not later. That's a reality. What you don't notice is the people who have actually understood that there is a death, have accepted it but not succumbed to it. Difference. The ones who have accepted it but not succumbed to it tend to enjoy every day like it's the best day of their life. That's our constant reality, is that death is constant. Death is always going to be there. We get lucky every day that we're above ground. We're lucky. Every day we're above ground is a blessing. It's a great thing. Every day above ground is a chance for something else. It's another chance to do it again, to repeat that action but do it better. So every day, which is the whole Kaizen thing, beautiful by the way, which is the whole Kaizen thing, is to do a little bit more every day, make tiny changes on a daily basis, just the 1% better scenario. As simple as that. Why I want to talk about death today is because last year I lost a lot of people, and it wasn't good, it was bad. Obviously, you get older in life.
Yeah.
You get a bit more taken from you than you get given. So you tend to appreciate the small you're given, and you tend to understand what's been taken from you, right? One constant thing that I saw was a lack of funeral planning, a lack of death planning. The ones who had passed away had no plan. No plan. They had no death plan. They had no will. They had no list they had no to-do list.
Like none of them?
No, none of them, but majority of people that passed away, most didn't have a will. Most didn't have a funeral arrangement. Have you any idea how stressful it is to...
While you're grieving as well.
Thank you. Have you any idea how stressful it is to arrange for a funeral of a loved one while you're grieving them? It's easy when... It's easy. Like everything in life is easy when you plan ahead, when you're proactive. But when you are reactive, it's so much pressure. It's so much pressure. People today say things are hard. Many things today are hard because we didn't prepare for it.
It's very true.
Fortune favors the prepared, the brave, and the bold. This is a reality. funerals are not cheap. Funerals don't come cheap. You pay for the coffin, you pay for the pub, right? Pay for everything. The casket, the burial ground, you pay for that as well. To dig the hole.
And the prices are not.
It's not £4.50. Put it that way.
The prices are not cheap.
It's not. And after all that, the person that passed away, it goes to where? Who gets the house? Who gets the this? Who gets the that? All these things that are uncalled and unplanned for. No will. So you now have loved ones who are all grieving together, now start to squabble and fight each other because it happens all the time. Because every single family member grieves in a different way. People all grieve differently. When things don't go your way in life in general, that's when your true character gets to show. When people don't have things go their way, they revert back to their 7-year-old. So a lot of people, when things don't go their way, they get back to that 7-year-old where they go either cry in the corner, they go and keep quiet and just stay still and not talk to anybody. Everyone reacts to death differently. Everyone reacts to losses differently. And that's when you start to see things, and especially with grief, it's just 10 times harder. And it breaks families apart. It breaks families, friends, loved ones, just pulls them in different directions. Because everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to help. Everybody wants to give and do and everything. But it's just something else. And it's been bothering me all throughout. A few years now it's been bothering me because I've also seen the better part of a passing, which is when someone dies and
your affairs are all in order.
Dude, David, is the best feeling. It's no longer a funeral; it's now a celebration of life. That's what I want to see. I want to see a funeral where everyone's wearing white, everyone is celebrating everything because the person that passed away paid for his or her funeral, had insurance, made sure all their affairs were in order, made sure their will was right, everyone got this, their estate went to this person and that person, everything is perfect, lovely. You're not paying for the casket, paying for the funeral, paying for the burial. No, it's all paid for, it's all done. All you've just got to just do is show up, chop rice, go home. Simple. Leave the grieving to the grieving. Everything else is fine. That's a reality.
I can really see how that forward planning can eliminate so much of the mess. Because I'm thinking back at some of my relatives, and it was what you were talking about with the arguments over the property, and
it's messy.
There were situations where, for example, when my dad passed away, I didn't even find out until weeks later because there were certain family members that were trying to sort of jockey for position, right? To try and get what they could get, and so it's like the fewer people that knew about certain things, the better. So I only found out like some weeks afterwards. And like you say, if you have all of that planned, organized, then it becomes much simpler. There's no argument over who gets what. There's no argument over how the funeral is going to be, because again, there's going to be people that will be like, "Oh, I want to do this," and no, he or she wouldn't have liked that. I want this. I want that. Do you know what I mean?
One.
All of that.
That one.
I can just totally see how that would work.
That
right?
one. I've heard that before. They wouldn't have liked that. The fuck you talking about?
I heard that at a funeral. I heard that at a funeral last year.
I got served that one a couple years ago. I'm like,
why is this happening here? He hated this. This doesn't fit with what he likes.
She wouldn't have liked this dress. Like, just that. That's not.
You don't even need to. The thing is, if they've given you what their wishes are, you don't even need to have that discussion, because it's like, this is what they said they wanted. So you can't then come along and say, oh, they wouldn't have liked it.
It needs to be in writing.
That's why I'm saying it needs to be in writing. That's exactly what I mean. If it's
so,
in writing, then there's no argument, because one person could say, oh, well, they said this to me, and someone else could still argue that. But if it's in writing, that's it. It's like, these are the wishes.
Boom, 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 boom.
This is what we're doing.
That's it. But here's
the
problem.
You might not like it, but that's you, innit?
Exactly. Yes, bro. We don't like to talk about death. We fear talking about death.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's just a cultural thing. And I'll just finish this series called The Last Kingdom. I knew this was going to come up in the podcast at some point. I was going to mention it. But what was interesting, one of the things that was interesting to me about that series was the Vikings were sort of trained and raised to be warriors.
Yes.
And so they didn't look at war or fighting as a negative thing. The average person, if you were to say, okay, we're going to go to war, we need you to go to war, they'd be like, fuck that, I want to stay at home and, do you know what I mean, just live my life. But with the Vikings, they were excited to go into battle. They wanted to go into battle, and they firmly believed that if they died a good death, they died in battle, holding their weapon,
Valhalla.
they're going to Valhalla, right? So they all wanted to go and fight, and they weren't afraid of death and all the rest of it. And it was just really interesting to see how wired that was into their mindset. It reminds me a little bit of how you know, with the samurais, they were so locked in with that they would meditate on death on a daily basis. And part of it was to make their peace with it, so that when the time came, they could face it with a certain peace, with honor, right? Not like, oh my god, don't kill me, but actually be like at peace with that, which makes a lot of sense to me. And I've been thinking about death more recently for similar reasons, like losing more people, getting older. It's definitely made me reflect on it more, and I can definitely see how if you've got that in your mind, you're going to live in a very different way if death is...
Death is constant.
Yeah, the Stoics talk about memento mori, like remember your death. I think that's actually a really wise practice. Before, I don't think I'd have been ready to do it, but now I think I am. But I genuinely think it's just a cultural thing, like what you're used to. Like, we don't talk about... What's interesting to me is in Western culture, we don't even like to deal with aging. Do you know what I mean? Like old people are kind of like pushed to one side and sort of like put in homes or whatever. Like, they're not really acknowledged. And I think that's, again, it's the fear of death taking another form. But there's not an acceptance of aging. Like, people will try and alter themselves cosmetically. Do you know what I mean? They'll alter themselves cosmetically. They'll get Botox. They'll do different things. They'll dye their hair. I see so many men dyeing their hair. And
I want to dye my hair.
Say again?
I would love to dye my hair.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll dye the whole thing grey. Love it. Just grey.
Just one tone, right?
Just get older.
That's the thing. I think if it was all one colour, it would be alright. But it's the mix up that I'm not really feeling.
I love getting older. You have no idea. Everyone was like,
You're the only person
I want to get older. I want to embrace older. I want just like, grey out. You know, silver wolf. I love it.
Why do you think we don't deal with death or work?
It's a constant fear of everything. The simple answer why we fear death is because A, we don't talk about death. B, our society has made us too comfortable with everything else but death. So, and C, we are constantly fed with things that are irrelevant in our life. Everything that is given to us is irrelevant. Look at what we're going through. It's useless. Useless things. The whole day you are spent saying things are useless. So we have nothing that's of relevance. D, your religion or your act of worship does not glorify death. It's simple as that. Example now, you said Last Kingdom, Vikings. Now, I said this before, I'll say it again. If your religion tells you, okay, hold on. If your God is a God of war and death, you as a human being, your greatest form of ascension is to be like your God, to be God-like. So, people who worship gods of war, they attend their church by going to war. In going to war and dying, they become more godlike. That makes sense. So, people who worship peaceful gods, when they are at peace and when they are immobile and at peace, they feel a bit more God-like. people who worship gods like Aphrodite or Persephone or whatever these ones, when they are fornicating, they feel more God-like.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So when you are doing something that is just like your God, you feel more God-like. Even the term Christian, what does the term Christian mean? It means Christ-like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. That's simplified it. Simple as that. Now, to be Christ-like, you don't talk about death. You talk about afterlife. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when your time has come, there's no talk about dying a glorious death, because there isn't. It's basically do all the hard work here, and then when you pass, you're gonna it's glorified in a way that it's Disneyfied.
Disneyfied.
It's Disneyfied. It's cute. It's cute. It's cutesified. It's like, oh no, people don't die here. No. We die. Death is a constant. Embrace death. The quicker you embrace death, the better you are. When you embrace death, you plan for your death. Dude, let me tell you.
Go on.
No. I keep saying this like it's a joke, but I'm dead serious. Get it? Dead serious? Right.
I call him boss.
Dude, I'm here all day. When I die, I want everybody in my funeral to give a kesism. Go on stage and give one kesism. Don't give two, give one, because everyone needs their chance. Stop it. I'm gonna die. Don't worry about that. I will die. But when I die, everyone has got to come on stage and give one kesism. What's a kesism? Is the things that Kes says on a regular basis. It's some random thing that Kes says out of nowhere.
I like that.
I want you to come on stage and give one kesism with chest. Say it out loud, because I want to hear it. I want to be up there laughing like, look, God. I say that. I say that.
You got a lot of kesisms, to be fair.
Dude, I have a lot of kesisms. I can't even write it down. It's like, it's me. It's here. And everyone now knows it. Everyone knows it. So that's a thing. I celebrate my death. Like, no, I'm gonna die. Don't worry. Oh yeah, but I'm gonna die. Embrace it. Also, today, in this day and age, we have lots of emails, passwords, accounts online, all these things. This is one way. Even though I didn't used to do it before, I started doing it now. You want to write your username and password. It's very important. Your whichever is it, Hotmail, Google, anywhere that you are frequently going in, that's going to be important for the next generation or the next legacy. You need to write down your password and username and be clear and concise. It does not go to the eyes of everybody. You're going to lock that thing down. And every time you have a new important account, write that down as well.
Yeah, it's good advice.
Dude, it may sound so small, but that's a big thing. Because even now, look, my bank accounts are on apps.
Oh, mate.
You understand? They're on apps. Branches are closing. Things are changing. You have to know that there's a possibility that when it's time for you to go, things will change a little bit more. So leave the next generation behind with things that are not going to make your death feel like an extra stress on anything else. That's, but what do I know?
These are important conversations, man.
Yeah.
Jeez, like one of my mentors passed last month. I was supposed to speak to him the week before.
Man.
I was supposed to speak to him the week before, and we arranged a call, and then he was late, and I think a few minutes after we were actually supposed to start speaking, he sent me the Zoom link, and I was actually a little bit annoyed. And we had a little back and forth. Nothing, heavy, but I just said to him, I don't really understand why you're sending me stuff like 5 minutes after we're supposed to have the conversation. Like the link should come earlier. And he just, he apologised and everything. And I was like, it's cool, there's no beef or whatever. But it was nothing urgent, so I just thought, we'll chat another time. And then a week later, I was on YouTube and someone was doing a tribute to him. And I was like,
No.
what? Just so honouring his legacy. I was like, honouring his legacy? No. And then I realised, boom, he's gone. And I don't think he made, from what I'm hearing anyway, he didn't make all of those arrangements. He was newly kind of married, young wife, just had a kid. But I think he in passing did kind of create some challenges with it. So I don't think he was expecting it and he wasn't prepared. So,
Damn.
but yeah, it's definitely.
Man, am I asking, what did it die of?
I don't actually know. I think it was some health-related issues, like he had diabetes. Like the last time I saw him, I remember thinking he looked really unhealthy. Like his skin, his eyes, just looking at him, I thought, he doesn't look like he's in the greatest of health. But I remember during the whole COVID thing, he got COVID, and because of his health issues, like diabetes and some other things, he was in hospital, and he was in hospital for like, I think a week and a half. It was quite serious at one point, but he got through it. And so, because of that, I guess in my head, I thought, okay, well, he survived that. Obviously,
You know, I forgot something.
What's up, brother?
I forgot what COVID means.
That's funny.
No, legitimately, I don't know what the COVID means.
I always said it stood for Certificate of ID.
Identification.
Yeah, that's what I always thought.
Oh,
man.
is it? I didn't. Sorry, my Latin is a bit poor. Right. I think coronavirus. Cor means heart.
Oh, corona.
Ona is attack.
In which language are we talking now?
Latin.
Because corona means crown. If you write corona as one word in Latin, it means crown.
Corona is crown. So there's also like coroners, like a core owner, like a heart attack.
Coronary.
Yeah. Heart attack virus or heart
Jesus.
punching virus.
That kind of makes sense when you consider the amount of people who've had heart-related illnesses, or whatever's the vague term they're using at this point.
Oh yeah. This is my point though, brother. This is my whole point of it. This is why we're talking about death. Is that 2 years later, there are now loads of deaths.
There's excess deaths as well.
Excess deaths.
So more people dying than would normally die in a year.
Than would normally die in a year. Thank you. This is what bothers me, is that a lot of people who have passed away unnecessarily have passed away due to heart-related illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out that they did, something, doubled up, boosted up, everything like that. It bothers me. It bothers me. It bothers me because the same people who were forcing, honestly,
speak on it, man. I've had this conversation
who
a
were
few
forcing
times.
us, the same people who were forcing us to take it, the same people today are saying, oh, we never forced you, and there's a high likelihood that everyone...
High likelihood that... What did they say there?
There's a high likelihood that everyone that took it would most likely, could, maybe, should be, should, definitely, possibly, might actually have a heart-related illness.
Is that what they're saying now?
Which maybe could, possibly cause their demise. Yeah, but
I predicted.
But we didn't force you.
I predicted this. I remember saying this to a few people. I said, because if you did your own digging and you realized that, as much as they might have said that, this is mandatory and this is if you really dig, you'll realize that you didn't have to do any of the stuff. Like, they told you these were rules, they told you had to wear a mask, but legally the case wasn't really there. And if you did enough digging, you would see that there were possible side effects that were listed and acknowledged. But it's like if you just went along with the kind of status quo, you might have missed that. But if you paid attention, you would have known that heart issues, paralysis, all kinds of different issues had been found.
Brother, this is why I keep saying for a long time, I hate saying I told you so.
Yeah, I don't mind saying that.
Because I don't like it. Because if I say if I say to you I told you so, that means in the first place you didn't listen. That's what that means. That means in the first place you didn't listen. And here we are. We're in a position right now where I keep saying things like this. You cannot unscramble scrambled eggs. Cassism. You see what I did?
I remember that one. Yeah.
You cannot unscramble scrambled eggs. You can up your vitamin C, up your everything, but once your immune system is now been lowered, bro, I don't have the answer for that.
Yeah.
I don't have the answer to reignite your immune system. I don't have the answer for that.
I've had people, like one of my friends was talking to me about, he had one of them, and now he's wondering if there's stuff he can do to kind of detox his system. Because I saw another article by this doctor where there's two interesting ones. One was basically proving that exercise would have been really helpful during that period
in
of
the
time
first place.
when they
That I was advertising and selling my app for exercise. Remember?
I remember when they were shutting the gyms down, and then there was another one.
Same people.
Oh, same
That
people.
I was
man.
saying, here you go. I'm doing morning, lunchtime, nighttime sessions, everything. Exercise is good for you. No, Kes, you don't know the truth. You don't know the science. Okay.
They did research on like so many people. It was like, I think it was close to 200,000 people, and then based on the evidence, they said, oh yeah, basically, if people have been exercising during the shamdemic, they would have had a much better health outcomes.
Bro, what do you mean shamdemic? How dare you, bro? Staycation.
And then staycation, yeah, that too. And then the other one was, actually, spike protein is not benign. Actually, it doesn't just kind of remain benign and stay in that site. It actually goes through the bloodstream. So I think the years ahead are gonna get
Everything in your body goes through your bloodstream.
exactly.
I've been saying from day one. Everything that goes in your body goes to your bloodstream. Doesn't matter. One strain, one grain of sand goes through your bloodstream. Everything goes through your bloodstream. Ignorance is not the reason for you to die. Don't do that, please. It's just stop. Just stop. What worries other people is the contraction of the thing. Is how I say that if you've taken your drip and your partner hasn't taken your drip, you can transfer the drip next to them.
So I said again, someone that's had the drip can give it to the other person who hasn't had it.
Yes.
Jesus.
So for example, if the drip makes you infertile, you can make your partner infertile as well.
Lord, have mercy.
Well, that's 2 and 2, right?
What time is your
2
life?
plus 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Booyah. Magical. What a time to be alive indeed. I love me.
I'm really happy that myself and some of the people I know just stuck to our guns, man, and followed our intuition, even when there was a lot of criticism and people calling you stupid, COVIDiots. Do you remember that term?
You do realize that a lot of people who were against you were actually against you because they thought that you just do part of the sign system. You needed to be right. That's what they felt.
Yeah.
They felt that you were arguing for the sake of argument to just be right because they were arguing with you because they wanted to be right for the sake of being right.
Yeah.
Not knowing that you were on the part of like, I love you as a human being.
Absolutely.
I genuinely want you to be here in 10 years' time.
Yep.
I don't want you going away because that you don't get it. This is the thing. That's what's scary about it.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's not that I told you so. This is life. This is life and death. As much as I say I'll talk about death, I want to talk about death a lot more now because a lot more people are going to be dropping dead for no apparent reason. I mean, I can just imagine Pfizer.
They've actually created a term for it now, right? Is it sudden death syndrome now?
I can imagine Pfizer watching the Monday Night Football, American football. Every Monday night is like, because they made sure every single footballer was dripped, and the ones that were not dripped, they got fired.
Because I remember there was one guy who wasn't having it, and they made a big fuss out of it, man. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he got fired.
He gave him a lot of shit because he didn't want to do it.
He got kicked out. Now, I forgot there's a brother that had a sudden heart attack.
Jamal Hamlin.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless you, sir.
Oh,
hey, God's favorite. This man. Right. So Jamal Hamlin, basically, he dropped.
He actually, his heart stopped beating.
His heart
Basically,
stopped beating.
Technically died
On the field, on live television. His heart stopped beating on the field. Young man, 20s.
I heard he didn't get hit that hard as well.
No, he didn't.
I haven't seen it.
He didn't.
Oh, you saw it, yeah?
My man just dropped.
Yeah, I heard he didn't get hit that hard.
His heart just stopped like that. This is what worries me now, because we are in a society where no one talks about death. Even though it happens to everybody. No one talks about death. And worst of all, today, now, people are dropping dead. Yeah. And here's the biggest flop is that because it's not on mainstream television, because it's not on TV every 5 minutes, saying, oh, one more person just died, one more 18-year-old just died, someone else just died. You don't know that there's death happening every 5 minutes.
Yeah. I saw a thing online once, and it was showing you all the professional athletes who just mysteriously had heart attacks and died. They weren't even all professionals. Some of them were like high school players, college players, really young people.
Young people. And that's the thing.
Fit, healthy people who you would not expect,
dude,
to have a heart problem.
Not athletes. Athletes.
Yeah, athletes.
Right? Athletes. Not athletes. Athletes. All dropping down. And I'm like, bro. And it's sad. It's sad. I have a gym. Right? The people who have been the illest, right? The past couple of years, I'm telling you from first-hand experience.
I've seen the same thing.
In my gym, I make sure there's no politics. We don't discuss politics. We don't discuss religion. We don't discuss vax or vaxism. Anything that's external out there, we don't bring it in here. It's simple as that. I don't want to see any disagreement, whatever. We've come here to escape from the world. This is our home from home. So we're not here this is our sanctuary. It's our cave. You know? So we don't do all that back and forth here. No. If you vote Tories, that's on you. Keep it outside. If you vote Labour, keep it outside. If you support Chelsea, keep it outside. I don't give a damn. Just keep it outside. If you want to start your nonsense, get out of my pub. This is me every day, brother. It's me every day. But I'm also aware and conscious that a lot of people who come to me on a daily basis, they went to go and get one, and they went to go and get two because they had to, or because they wanted to travel, and
or they couldn't go and travel. They couldn't see their family.
They couldn't
at
go
Christmas,
to this, that. And then when they had the two, they had to get one more extra as well because they had to go and travel. But they didn't travel. They didn't travel. They didn't travel. And after all that, now a physical exercise that they could do like that before, they can't do anymore. Even after they get their week-long or 2-week-long rest period, they come back. their lungs no longer function like they used to.
After the drip.
Remember, I am a fitness professional. I am professional and I'm a chemical engineer. I'm fully qualified, certified, insured, and everything regarding the human body. I know more about the human body than most human beings on this planet, on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say to you, their lung capacity can no longer, till today, can no longer function like it used to 3 years ago. Not for age.
Are you talking about people that had the illness, or just the treatment for the illness?
The stick.
Mm-hmm. So the ones that had the jab
Without the illness.
Wow, their lung capacity is not working.
The ones that had the illness and recovered without the naturally are fine.
They're fine.
And they now have
their capacity is the same.
It's the same, even better. They now have a stronger immunity to that to it now.
Jesus.
Does that make sense? So everybody who, well, not everybody actually, a massive number of the ones who took it have not been the same person since then.
I'll tell you one I've noticed. The people who I've seen get ill the most in terms of get colds or get COVID are people who've been jabbed or double jabbed or triple jabbed. And a lot of people I speak to tell me the same thing. Like, my lady manages a store, and she's always telling me, she's like, the only people who end up getting sick, like flu and the rest of it, she's like, it's all people that have been jabbed.
It's not easy, no. It's not easy at all. It's not easy being told that. So if you've relied on a certain source all your life to tell you the truth,
yeah,
and they tell you to take this then and trust them, because trust us, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and you should be able to trust them.
You
too,
should
right?
be.
You got doctors there.
There you go. Thank you, and you follow what they're saying and you do what they do, and now that which you took to make you prevent that thing is what made you sick. It makes you even worse than ever. So you take that, but you still get sick. And then that person that you trusted to look after you goes, bro, it's on you, bro.
It's so deep.
That's beautiful.
It's so deep. Well,
That hurts.
It was still your choice.
Boy, you
Manipulated
said,
me.
but you said I should, but you. Am I your God?
Yeah.
Did I force you? Did I put the gun to your head? Did I put it Jake?
Yeah.
Did I put the gun to your head? No, but you said you're on your own. That's what's happening. That's the sad part.
You'll be the sheep of the wolf. Fuck it out. Because the thing is, I could see all the tactics, man. I was talking to a friend about this, and just because I've always been interested in language, communication, psychology, I could see how. Say again?
NLP.
Yeah, NLP, hypnotic language patterns. I could see how the narrative was being painted. So people who went to get the jab were being presented as like patriotic, like people that care about others. You know, you're not doing it for you, you're doing it for everyone else. You know, people who didn't want to get it were being portrayed as selfish. They were being blamed, in fact, which was completely illogical, right? It's like, oh, well, you haven't taken the treatment, so therefore you are now the problem.
You are the one. It's because of you that we still have this in the country. If you take this, then the whole country is going to be fine.
Yeah, and then it was, oh, now your kids need to be...
We're going to scrap.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it started to get... It was real interesting, because I watched it, and at first it was, okay, we just need to deal with the people who are most at risk, right? Now, see, if they'd said from the start, we want to vax everybody, there'd have been a lot more resistance. But they brought it in bit by bit, right? So it was like, first we're going to do the old people, right? And it's like, then it was the old people. And then it was like the next demographic. And then it was like, bit by bit, the age started to come down, you know? It was like, oh, people who are between 25 and 35 seem to be getting it a lot now. And
wherefore,
anon, ergo.
Ergo.
You know what I mean? And then I remember I was in the Uber once, and they were having this debate about why like children should be getting it, and I was like, what? Are you guys really gonna just go along with this? Because I was just observing it, and it was like, yeah, the age just got lower and lower and lower.
10-year gap.
Yeah, but the there was a very concerted effort to kind of get people on board to comply. They took away certain freedoms. They did a whole bunch of things which would lead people into that space of just getting it done. Like, you can't travel, you can't go on holiday, you can't go to the club. Oh, you can't go to the club.
Work.
You can't go to work, right? That's an even more basic one. They put all of these pressures on people. Yeah. And now it's like, whoa. It's dark, bro.
It is.
Super dark.
It is. But it is what it is. It is how it is. That's what worries me. Is that I just feel bad. I feel sad because I'm not trying to one up anybody. I care about your life. I care about your life. I care about you not dying. I care about your loved ones. And I also care that if those who are going to pass away in the next whenever, you need to make a plan for your loved ones. You need to plan ahead. Write down something. Write down what you want for your funeral. What you want to dress up as. What you want to be dressed as. What how you want to be buried. What goes to who gets what. However money is in your account or your accounts, who gets a percentage. Because you can say this person gets £10,000, that person gets 50 grand, it's still going to be uneven. So if what you had at the time of demise drops down, that's promised money for nothing. So we're not talking now percentages. This person gets 5% of what you earn. That person gets 10% of what you have. This person gets 2% of what you have. Therefore, however much is in that account, everyone gets something on an equal basis. Or on a leveled basis, sorry. Yeah. These things worry me a lot, bro. Worry me a lot. Because being around the globe, I see a lot. I see a lot more though in minority people.
Yeah.
Ethnic minority people.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That's like a long-term perspective, man. Again.
Long-term perspective.
Yeah, it's
I like that.
I think it connects to that as well, because if you, I remember we did one episode when we were talking about survival. And I think because
survival mode.
Yeah, I think because a lot of times people are in the mode of just surviving, getting through this week, this month. They're not thinking long term in terms of death, or 5 years or 10 years or whenever that could be. They're just in the now, and I think when you're in that kind of emotional state of survival, you don't really have the ability to really think rationally like that and plan.
That's why I keep saying, everyone, you need to make a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a 20-year plan, a 100-year plan. If you can't do that, at least do a 6-month plan. What's your plan for September? What's your plan for July? What's your plan for January next year? Boom. Now work it backwards. Where do you want to be in 5 years time? Boom. Work it. It sounds so foreign when a person doesn't go a 3-month plan. When you're just surviving, just going by the way. Just getting by. No one gets it. No one gets it. It's kind of the reason why 2 years ago, I just stopped talking to people. I just stopped talking. It's like, you know what? You don't get it. It's not for you. Because I noticed I was wasting my time talking to people a lot more, and they just didn't want to get it because they did not want me to be right. Because how dare you be right? But
it's too much. You know what it is as well, bro? I just think it's too much of a reach for the other person, because the average person might not even plan their day, and you're talking to them about a 10-year plan. They haven't planned their day. They just kind of woke up, fell into the day. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like, it's your day, then it's your week, then it's your month, then it's 3 months, maybe 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Like,
the average person today, you're right, they don't plan their day. They let the social media plan their day.
Yeah. What messages did you get?
When you exactly, the first thing you do in the morning is what sets your whole day up. So if first thing in the morning, if you wake up in the morning and you go on Instagram, you go on Facebook, you go on TikTok. Oh God, I can't even say that.
I don't use it actually.
I don't TikTok. I'm too grown for that. You understand? If you go on these pages, the first thing in the morning, that's what your day is defined as. When you start your day like that, that's what you define your day as, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like you said, people, if your day is not planned, how can your week be planned? Your week is not planned. Your month is not planned. Nothing is planned. It's game over, bro. It's game over. Opa, you're welcome. See what I did there? See what I did
Thank you.
there? Full circle. Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing that worries me, bothers me, and eats me up every day. It's just no planning. No planning. Once you start planning, you start seeing everybody's own move. If you've got a 10-year plan, you see everyone's 10-year plan. I mean, come on, man. If you go a 20-year plan, you know, yep, these guys are trying to get me in trouble. Yeah, but they're just giving charity to your... No, they're not. I know what they're doing. I'm not playing that. But yeah, that's my thing. That's my thing for the new year. Talk about death. Don't fear death. Non timetis meso. Oh God, sorry, Latin again. Apologies. Non timetis meso. Don't fear death.
Non timetis meso. I've seen that phrase.
It's me, bro. Put on years ago. Non timetis meso. Don't fear death. You will die one day. Don't worry. How you die is your question. I said this to someone, with a kid once. I said, what happens if you die today? She just panicked. Oh my God, my child this, da 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 da. I say, see, that's why you fear death. You fear death because you've not made a plan.
You're right. Once you have a plan, it frees your mind up so much.
That's it. You fear death because you don't have a plan. You haven't got a plan A, plan B, plan C. You haven't got a plan. That's why you fear death. When you have a plan, when things are in motion, even if there's not complete, as long as it's in motion, you don't fear death now. We'll die. I was like, oh man, listen. When things are already in motion and it's go time, it's go time. Well, what's the worry again? There's no worry. There's nothing to worry about. But when you're just working, you haven't got plan for the kids, you haven't got plan for yourself, there's no future plans. You basically, your plan is after you die, they're gonna hopefully get a job. Work shit out, and hopefully the government will pay for their fees, or they're gonna get student loan, and hopefully they'll pay the whole thing out, and hopefully they'll get a job at McDonald's, and hopefully STUPID, short-sighted, temperamental, unreasonable, petty, ignorant, delusional, stupid. Cassism.
It's definitely a cassism. Tell me your simp acronym again.
Oh,
can we not say that one?
I'll say it.
It's a bit too spicy.
This is for adults. Simp. SIMP. Stupidly idolizing mediocre punani. Simp. Simple. Simple.
Idolizing mediocre punani.
It's true. It's the same thing you get every other corner of the road. You're idolizing it. It's a problem. That's what happens. So yeah. What sir would you like to add on to this?
Nothing. I don't know. I think I'm just happy to be having the conversations, man.
Yeah, I like that. Happy to be there.
What would I add on to this? I think, like I said, I'm gonna meditate on death more. I think there's different. I think there's the side of it around the planning and the action. I think that is the most important. Absolutely.
Plan your death.
I think also just an awareness of it is good, because this the mind tends to avoid things that are going to make us grow. So when we're faced with something challenging, the mind tends to go, oh no, leave it, don't do it, or don't do it now, or do it another time. But I think if you can keep that, we're going to be here for a limited time on your mind, and then you're much more likely to live in a more real way. So I'm going to be exploring that.
I got one for you.
Hit me. What you got?
This is very Kaiser Shozy shit. It's gonna fuck with you.
Kaiser Sose shit. Okay. I like some Kaiser Sose shit.
Right. I want to fake my death.
Oh wow.
So when I die, am I really dead? And even me saying it right now on camera, it's like, is he dead?
So you're gonna fake...
Or is he Superman dead?
You wanna fake your death? Okay.
Yeah. Is he dead? Is
For
Superman
what
dead?
purpose? To see how people react?
I want to see how people give me the criticisms, how they react. It's like, you best get on stage. Get on stage!
Oh, you
I'm
mean
dead?
to the funeral level of faking it?
Uh-huh.
Jesus Christ! And then come back.
Like EastEnders.
And then you're gonna come back.
Yeah, Phil, it's not dead. Doom, 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 doom. Bro, I'm killing it.
People are gonna be pissed though.
So, what do you want to kill me?
When it realize... that's an interesting one. Fake your death, come back.
Oh shit! Yo, you just see how the world reacts to your death. That's it.
I know what you mean though, because it would be really interesting to see, right?
I need to know.
You kind of, I get it, because you kind of want to see like who's gonna give a shit.
In some
Who's gonna...
bunker margaritas and it's like, yeah, just watching and laughing at the walls. That's nice.
You really want to make sure you get to see the show, yeah?
Yes, but they go, is he really dead? Now that I'm saying this on camera now, it's like, when I die, am I gonna be dead? I'm just gonna be like fake dead.
So you can do fake dead and then just come back and live some more life.
Yeah, simple.
Okay.
Come back and live some more life.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
My name is Brown. Oh shit, God. I like that. I told someone yesterday. I said, I said, I'm Kes. It's like, it's one word. It's like,
Yeah, you should just leave your
like-
change your name to
it's
just Kez.
Beyonce.
Yeah, or Sade.
Or Sade.
Prince.
Or Prince. Or Madonna. Just Kes. I'm like Kanye West, but
He
diet
changed
Kanye West.
his name to Ye. Did you know that?
Yeah, no, that's my point. I'm like Kanye West, but like less sugar. Just diet Kanye West. It's like that's much less sugar, less crazy. It's like yeah, it's just different. It's less sugar.
Kez.
Yay.
Just Kez.
Just Kes.
Like Pele.
Well, nah, brother. Yeah, so I like death, man. I like talking about death. Death is easy. Death is easy when you have a plan.
When did you put your plan together?
When I was born. It's full circle. It's always been there. My works have always been in motion. It's not new to me. It's nothing new.
So you wrote your will when you were born.
I'm not that. Calm down. Write that in my storybooks, yes, but just like, yeah, like Chuck Norris. When Kes was born, he wrote his will. Yeah.
Now, listen, I'm
Yeah.
just...
You know, dinosaurs
asking
never
you-
went extinct.
I'm asking
They're hiding
you.
from Kes.
Basically,
Yeah.
you've been saying about the importance of planning.
Yeah.
So like, so you've got your plan already. Like,
I always had plans. Always had plans for everything.
mhm.
Plans and contingencies for everything.
Will, you written that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe when this video goes out, I'd have had a will already. I have a statement, but not a will of statement. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
This goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes there. But to have a will of statement, you have to have your lawyer and everything, just to have that stamped down.
It's actually, someone asked me to help them.
Right, I will.
Yeah, and I went online and found this thing which it says it's a legal document expressing their wills, their wishes and stuff. It did involve a solicitor or anything.
You have to have one.
Just wrote it. It was without a solicitor's involvement, but you could
So that's a written statement. That's not a will per se. For a will, you would need to have your solicitor. Have a solicitor, yes, because that's the person that's sworn to the maritime court for proof of of who they are, and they are the legal adjudicator for that which has been said, it cannot be changed because this person has put it down as that. If it's just that person and the son and their signature is fine, because that's what he said. But some other person can come and say, oh,
Could dispute it.
yeah, anyone can come and dispute and say, oh, I'm his wife. Therefore, David made him sign this under duress.
Yeah.
You
You could
understand?
say it was forged, maybe.
It was forged. I wasn't there, therefore it don't exist. You feel me? Yeah. So a lot of these things happen like that. This is why I go like most things you need, and I've been saying this for a long time as well. Like, you need to have a solicitor in your pocket. You need to have at least one solicitor in your pocket, because you never know, especially when you start to grow in this life. You never know who's going to be against you. You never know what's going to happen against you. You never know when a court case comes up. I'm telling you this, bro. I'm telling you this. The way I'm getting messages from other companies, I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't paying that to you. What are you talking about? Let's go to court. And I'm gonna sue you for suing me. I'll counter sue you. As in, how dare you come at me like that, bro? You know about me. Standard. Counter sue. It's like that. Because if a person should sue you and you just take it lying down there, even if they are wrong and you're right, if you don't punish them for bad behavior, they will do it to someone else again. So you counter sue. You counter sue so that next time they won't think about it.
I'm gonna sue you for suing me.
Yes. Because of you caused me distress, my time that I was wasted for doing this, my this and everything, when in the first place you knew I was right. Therefore, give me my money. Simple. You charge them for how much money you make on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minutely basis, and the things that you do and have done. That's what I do. That's how I do it. Awareness levels, mate. Awareness levels, mate. Look at this. Self-defense mechanism 101. People don't get small things. So yeah. That, sir, is the end of our story.
Indeed.
Any questions? I love doing that, you know.
This guy.
When I teach, any questions?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed. Anything but it's a new year. It's 2023. We've come to get it done. Season 2. Episode 1. Just cruising. Dr. Love. Kevlar Kess. All that good stuff. Death. Why you are laughing, child?
No, it's just funny. Like, it's good to hear the subject being treated with this sort of heavy energy around it.
Like I'm
Like, blah 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 blah. Death.
Like I'm Thanos. Death. Courting death.
Thanos was onto something, man. I'm telling you.
What's that?
Come on, like, tell me you didn't get more evidence every day that Thanos might have been right.
Thanos was right, mate.
I could wipe out half of these motherfuckers.
With an injection.
Oh man.
Thanos be jealous, like, I should have thought.
He's like, should have thought. Damn it. Facts.
Damn it.
No legal liability either. Oh.
No Avengers fighting me, lopping my head off. None of that. That's bullying, you know.
What's that? All the Avengers against Thanos?
Bro, hold up.
That goes to show he was bad man.
Bro, just because you're a good fighter,
Good.
7 men jump you. Is it your fault that you're a good fighter? Is that your that's not, bro. I worked hard to fight. 7 men jump you, and they're the good guys.
Yeah, when you put it that way, doesn't seem the fairest fight. This dude takes out planets though, man. He's not like a regular guy.
That's bench press, bro. Been training for that, cuz 10K every morning, 100 push-ups, 100 squat jumps, 100 sit-ups every day. That's hard work, bro. New year, new you ain't got nothing on him. Does it every day, fam. That's hard work. And then nah. And then Fat Thor shows up. Nah, bruv, move.
Fat Thor. Oh, you can't be getting your ass kicked by Fat Thor.
Ah, bro, it's horrible, man. Just kill me now. All right, everyone. It's emotional. Stay blessed and highly favored. Peace.
Peace.